Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany and today I'm going to be going over all the books that I read in June. So I actually only read 4 books this month. 3 of them I finished in June, and then one of them I actually finished on July 4th. I showed footage of me reading that in the very first vlog that I did, so I'll link that if you want to watch that. But so only 4 books in June, but it was a good quality reading month for me. I gave them all 4 and 5 stars, so it was a good reading month. Even though there's only 4 books to talk about today. So before I get started on those, I do want to share one picture book and then also a reading journal that I got a few months ago that I just haven't shared with you guys, and just kind of show that to you. So the picture book is The Prince's Poison Cup by R.C. Sproul, and I think I found out about this book from Redeemed Reader. This book is such a good quality, just like the physical book. It has such a soft cover. The inside is like kind of a linen material. It doesn't feel like your typical children's book. It's just a very good quality. This is a Christian allegory. So basically the prince's son in this book has to drink poison to rescue the people of this kingdom. So it's an allegory of Jesus and him taking on the sin of the world and why he did that, and it was hard and painful. And so it's just a really good book. Redeemed Reader reviews all kinds of children's books, not just like Christian specific, but they do give like some insight from a Christian perspective on those books, just kind of to like let parents know about just the message that the book is sending. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a Christian book, but if it includes like messages that kind of align with our faith, or just positive messages for kids, they try to kind of share that in their reviews. So I think the ones that I have read have been really great. They're not like really judgmental, or like I didn't read a lot of bad reviews, honestly. It's just nice to kind of know what kind of topics are in children's books before you read them or give them to your kids. And so I really appreciate that website, and I think I found this there, so I will link their website down below if you're interested in just kind of looking at the reviews, seeing if that is something that you might want to use just to kind of look for children's books. Okay, so next I'm going to share with you my new reading journal, which is right here. Let's see. This is the Cultivated Reading Journal, and I think I ordered this through the Daily Grace, but the company is actually Cultivate What Matters, which is a company that I have been a consumer of for many years. They sell power sheets, which are like year-long goal planning books. I have some on my shelf over here from previous years, so I can pull those out. So these are power sheets. I have a pretty one from one year, and these are just like in-depth goal planning, and that was started by a woman named Laura Casey, and she just really grew that business and sold those power sheets, which have been just a blessing in my life, and then also sells write the word journals, so just journals that have maybe a theme and different parts of scripture that you then copy down, write down. So I've used some of those over the years, and so I knew that they had a reading journal, so I decided to go ahead and purchase this. The reason why I said I had bought it from the Daily Grace company is because just in the past year, I think the Daily Grace company bought the Cultivate What Matters company. So you can buy Cultivate What Matters things on the Daily Grace Co., which is where I also get Bible studies from, and that's usually linked down below with, I think, a $5 discount. So you can use that link if you'd like to browse either one of those brands. So I have never really kept a reading journal. I really like Goodreads. I like kind of keeping up that way. I don't do reviews on Goodreads. I know I probably should. I just haven't kind of stepped into that, but that's just for me how I keep track of what I'm reading. But I thought it would be fun, and I kind of want to keep track more of my thoughts and feelings along the way, and I haven't used Goodreads for that. So I'll just show you some parts of this. There's this page that I haven't done, but you can color in books as you read them. So I don't know how many are here, but I've read 50 books so far this year. So I could color that in sometime when I have time. I don't remember. There might be some goal setting. Yeah, there's a little bit of like goal setting things in the beginning, which is very similar to the power sheets as far as just helping you to understand your goals and why you want to do things, like instead of just saying like, I want to do this because this is what everybody on YouTube is doing. Just kind of getting down to like what really matters. So the company Cultivate What Matters, like just really finding out what matters to you personally and kind of where you want to see growth in your life. Anyway, so this is one example of the pages. I put these stickers in. I haven't done a whole lot of creative things in here, but at the bottom there are like rankings, so different categories for ranking. So craft, enjoyment, insightfulness, overall. So I obviously really liked this one. This is Love and a Little White Lie by Tammy L. Gray. So it has date you started, date you finished, if you listened to it or bought it or borrowed it, or if it was a reread, who recommended it. So that's fun. I have Amanda from, oh my goodness, I am terrible with channel names, like Book Lover Amanda. I don't know why I get in videos and then I try to mention somebody's channel and I completely cannot remember their channel name. That's silly. But anyway, so Book Lover Amanda, that's where I remember hearing about Love and a Little White Lie by Tammy L. Gray. So I could write that down in there, which is helpful. And then here's this is one of the books I'm sharing about today. I had a lot and I like ran out of room and I still wanted to write more things down. So I just started putting page numbers. Anyway, so that's my reading journal. Just wanted to kind of share that. I know people like work really hard on making super creative reading journals, and I don't have time in my life right now for that. And so this is helpful because it's very easy to just fill in whenever I have the chance, and I don't have to put a lot of thought or creativity into it. So yeah, that's my reading journal. Okay, so now to get on to the books that I read in June. So I'm going to start with this one. This is All Manner of Things by Susie Finkbeiner. So this was for my Read Your Bookshelf challenge for June, and that's not true. It was for May. You know I'm behind on Read Your Bookshelf challenge. So this was technically the May prompt. And it was also my author, trying an author. So this is my first book by Susie Finkbeiner. I do own 2 more, just got a new one yesterday. And I'm excited to read more from her. This was so good. I heard about this from Chantel Reads All Day, and she really loved it. I think this was like one of her favorites from last year. It was really good. I think I ended up landing on a 4-star for it, but it was really good. It's a Christian historical fiction set around the Vietnam War. It had so much faith content in it and so much kind of like about the effects of war and the effects of war on these men in this story, from the older generation, like generational, like older generation, the new generation, and just, yeah, I mean, it was so good, so insightful as far as that goes, and how war just affects ordinary families. And yeah, it was really good. I really liked the characters a lot. They were not perfect, but I really liked them, and really liked her writing. Okay, the next one is a nonfiction, and that is The Other Side of Infamy by Jim Downing. So I think I read this right after I finished that other one. So this is a nonfiction book about war and how it affects people. I read this for the Buzzwordathon, Buzzword, which was other, and I'm so glad that I did. I rated it 5 stars, mainly because I'm just thankful that Jim Downing wrote about his life and his experience. So he was in the Navy, and he was in Hawaii at Pearl Harbor when that happened, and he kind of goes through that experience, his experience throughout the Cold War. He also just shares a lot about his faith and about his experience with the Navigators, which was a ministry that he was involved in throughout his time in the military and beyond. I don't know, I thought it was really good. Okay, so the next one that I read is a contemporary romance, and that was Sarah Adams' When in Rome. I really enjoyed this. I listened to it on audio. It was super quick and just makes you feel good. Like, I like these kinds of books that are just fun and lighthearted, and yeah, it's another one of those books that, like, I really enjoyed. Rated 4 stars. I'm not going to remember much about it, or it's probably not going to stick with me, but I don't want to rate them lower because of that, just because I enjoy it so much at the time, and it's exactly what I need at the time, so I don't need to remember it for it to have been really good. Oh, and it was pretty clean. I think anything that happened was pretty closed door. It was kind of, I don't know how to describe this. It was pretty heavy on the, like, physical descriptions and like attraction. So I don't know, that might bother some people. Not like physical descriptions of like things happening, just like actual physically describing the people and how attractive they were, I guess. So just thought I'd throw that out there in case anybody wants to know. Okay, the last one that I just finished in my reading vlog on July 4th is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. And this was probably the first book that I picked up. Actually, I may have picked it up in May. I think I did start it in May. Took me forever, but as you saw in my reading journal, I filled a whole page with things that I wanted to remember. I should have tabbed it, but I didn't. I may read it again. It was really good. I also rated it 4 stars. It wasn't quite to that 5-star level, but I did really enjoy it. It was very slow for me reading it. It wasn't necessarily a slow-paced book. It just took me a long time. I don't know if that was just my life at the time, or maybe it had a lot of depth in the writing, I felt like. So I did kind of, reread lines some. So I don't know if it wasn't big. It's not a big book, especially compared to some other Brandon Sanderson books. But yeah, it just took me a long time. I don't know why, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. It's a fantasy. I don't know a lot about Brandon Sanderson or like his worlds, but it's set in the Cosmere, I think. Hope I'm right about that. And it's about this girl, Tress, who is in love with this boy who's the king's, no, not the king, oh my goodness, you know, part of the political structure in this world, you know, at a different, like, social level than Tress, I guess. And so they both had feelings for each other, but it was kind of like almost a forbidden romance, kind of. It wasn't romance heavy at all, other than the fact that, like, her mission was to go rescue him. I hope that's not spoilery. I don't think it is. But anyway, she leaves her island, and so it's very much like on the ocean, kind of pirate feeling. The ocean is not made of water though, it's made of spores that come from the moon. Like, it's a wild ride, which I think is pretty typical for Brandon Sanderson, although I've heard that this is not really his typical type of story or the writing style. I loved the voice, the narration voice. I don't know how to describe that. I didn't listen to it, but like just the style of the writing and who the narrator was, like, I loved that part. It was so entertaining. It was funny. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this. I really enjoyed it. All right, guys, so those were all the books that I read in June. Not a very big list, but good books. I'm glad I got to share those with you. Leave me a comment down below and tell me your favorite book that you read in June. I would love to hear about those and see if I can add any of those to my list. And I look forward to talking with you guys next time. Bye.